Hi, future people, and welcome to week 2 of 2018. I'm John, and I'm still here. The live broadcast thing last week was a total disaster, as I think my upload speeds are bad or my technical skills or something. So I'm just going to record these and upload them. Welcome to week 2 review of 2018. In Ontario, there's been a social media backlash, which is the safest kind of backlash, to the Tim Hortons coffee chain after some franchisees pushed back against the workers with cuts to benefits and hours. It will be interesting to see how that plays out and if it tarnishes the carefully crafted image of Canada's brand. Meanwhile, they have raised the price of some breakfast items not in response to the minimum wage hike, they say. In business, the Canadian cannabis sector is an exciting bubble casino where large amounts of money can be gained and lost. As Canada moves towards legalization in the summer, I think we will see a consolidation of marijuana companies. This was the story coming out of that sector on Friday from the Canada Press, Friday, January the 12th. Saskatoon-based Canamed Therapeutics Inc. has filed a lawsuit against Aurora Cannabis Inc., alleging what it calls multiple claims of wrongdoing related to Aurora's hostile bid to acquire Canamed. In a statement released Friday evening, Canamed, CMed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, said it filed a lawsuit in Ontario's Superior Court alleging Aurora, ACB in the Toronto Stock Exchange, and others conspired to injure Canamed's economic interests. Canamed says it's also seeking personal damages against one current and one former member of its board for their alleged involvement in the purported conspiracy. It says the action, which has not yet been served, seeks $725 million in damages. The allegations have not been proven in court. So that's something to watch if you're interested in marijuana stocks, and I am. In Trumpland, he made his now infamous and who knows, perhaps forgotten by future people, because I find, Trump says these outlandish things and you think, oh my God, how horrifying. And then, you forget about it because he says more outlandish things. And weeks later, or months later, you're reminded of something he said and you're like, oh man, how could I have forgotten that? So anyway, he made his now infamous, hopefully shithole comment. And Trump here laid bare, with no more dog whistles or code, that he is a racist and his policies are based on racial ideas. He and his followers don't hide that fact anymore. They never did, really, but it was ambiguous enough that some on the right or old school conservatives could maybe remain on the fence. But I think his shithole remarks, what I can only imagine will be more grotesque and irresponsible pronouncements in the future, should help to draw a sharp dividing line between for him and against him. But my faith in the American people to be decent, law-abiding people remains intact, and I think this is a challenge they will survive and grow stronger from. There's his allegation that he paid a sex worker over $100,000 in hush money just before the 2016 election, and Steve Bannon was fired from his blog and satellite radio show. So some are speculating he may start spilling the considerable beans he has pretty soon. So the Trump presidency still seems to be a favorite arena sport for many of us, perhaps because it's possible the wild animals could get into the stands and devour us. In weather, the past week has been one of extremes. On Friday the 12th, it was 11 degrees Celsius, and the snow was melting fast, but it dropped to minus 15 overnight, and we had a huge dump of snow. So we continue to have unpredictable and wild mood swings in the weather. In sports, I find it hard to be enthusiastic when my team, the Senators, are not doing well. I guess I am a fair weather fan. The other story is the looming Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. Canada's hockey team will not have any NHL players this time around due to some sort of dispute that I haven't been following too closely with the NHL. But personally, I think the Olympics should be about celebration of amateur sports, not an exercise in top professional athletes trying to win medals, but maybe I'm just a hippie. In entertainment, we wanted to see Hostiles with Christian Bale last night, but it actually doesn't start until next Thursday, so we're going to have to wait. Then we were going to see I, Tonya, but it was only playing at one cinema in a distant suburb, so we just decided to stay home and watch an episode of Black Mirror. We watched the Infinity episode, the one that takes off on Star Trek. Great episode, as they all are. The great thing about Black Mirror is it can be both lighthearted and horrifying in the same scene, and is set in such a recognizable technological near future that we can readily identify. It's a great show. As many have stated, I think, and I agree with it, I think we are currently in the golden age of television. In books, I am currently reading The Amazing Colossal Apostle by Robert M. Price, The Search for the Historical Paul. That's been an interest of mine for a long time, early Christianity and the historical Jesus and the mythical Jesus. Price is a mythicist, and he believes that most of these characters, Jesus and Paul and so forth, were creations, literary creations. He does it in a very respectful ways. If you want to read some secular biblical history, but that doesn't have the sort of biting atheist skepticism that is in some other works like this, Robert M. Price is a good choice because he's very respectful of the Christian traditions. So that's it for this week. I blathered on too long again, and we'll see you next Sunday. Thanks.